Para conocer más sobre las noticias de este conflicto en Medio Oriente, nos enlazamos con mi compañero Sal Emergui en vivo desde Jerusalén. Hola Sal, adelante.
Hola Rey, pues mientras en la franja de Gaza y especialmente en la zona del hospital Al-Shifa continúa la ofensiva israelí contra Hamas, en Doha tiene lugar una fase crítica de la negociación para una tregua de al menos 6 semanas. Según las informaciones desprendidas, hay dos grandes puntos de discrepancia. Por un lado, el número y la identidad de los presos palestinos que Israel deberá liberar para canjear por los secuestrados aún en manos de Hamas. En total hay en estos momentos 134. Y por otro, el regreso de los desplazados palestinos del norte al sur que huyeron de las bombas israelíes y de los combates en la zona norte de la Franja de Gaza. Un acuerdo de tregua seguramente evitaría este anunciado plan de ofensiva terrestre que casi cada día anuncia el primer ministro israelí Benjamin Netanyahu, porque dice él, Netanyahu, que esta ofensiva es vital para acabar completamente con Hamas en la Franja de Gaza desde el punto de vista militar. Una operación que cuenta con la posición firme y plena de la comunidad internacional liderada por Estados Unidos. Y precisamente en Rafah hoy ha visitado la zona, aunque la parte egipcia de esa frontera, el secretario general de Naciones Unidas, Antonio Guterres, en primer lugar para advertir que una ofensiva a gran escala en Rafah por parte de Israel puede ser catastrófica. Y en segundo lugar ha pedido un alto el fuego inmediato para, dice, acabar con lo que llama pesadilla incesante en la Franja de Gaza. Si te parece, escuchemos lo que decía Guterres en su segunda visita desde el inicio de la guerra en esa zona de Rafah, en la frontera egipcia cerca de Gaza.
Nothing justifies the horrific attacks by Hamas on October the 7th.
Nada justifica los horribles ataques de Hamas el 7 de octubre y nada justifica el castigo colectivo del pueblo palestino. Ahora más que nunca es hora de un alto el fuego humanitario inmediato. Es hora de silenciar las armas. Palestinos en Gaza, niños, mujeres y hombres quedaron atrapados en una pesadilla incesante. Comunidades arrasadas, hogares demolidos, familias y generaciones enteras aniquiladas por el hambre y la inanición, acechando a la población.
El gobierno de Hamas en Gaza acusa al ejército israelí de haber disparado y matado al menos 19 personas mientras esperaban el reparto de ayuda humanitaria en la rotonda de Kuwait, en la ciudad de Gaza. Israel lo ha negado, afirmando que soldados no han disparado contra el convoy que se acercaba a esa zona y, según Israel, fue saqueado por cientos de habitantes en la ciudad de Gaza. Rey.
I only left to find flour, to find food. This woman screams. Where are they? Her husband, children, and other relatives are nowhere to be found. Their home destroyed in an Israeli airstrike while she was gone. Moments later, her nephew is pulled from the rubble. But he is barely clinging on to life. In central Gaza, as bombs continue to rain down, so do these foreboding leaflets. A warning from the Israeli military for civilians to flee southwards, directed at those living in the El Rimal neighborhood and the thousands currently sheltering in the nearby Al-Shifa hospital complex. This was the scene at the beleaguered medical complex on Monday, the alarming sound of artillery fire echoing through the early hours of the morning. Nobody has been able to reach those injured or killed at Al-Shifa, this eyewitness says, filming discreetly. Some 3,000 people are believed to have been sheltering in and around the hospital when the raid began, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Israeli military vehicles, seen here in video filmed by a doctor in the hospital, have surrounded the complex for days. On Tuesday, one civilian trapped inside sent CNN this audio recording. The hospital is still under bombardment. There has been heavy shelling and live fire, Lemia says. One man was just looking out of the window on the second floor when he was hit by a sniper and killed. The Israeli military says it is conducting what it has described as a precise military operation targeting senior Hamas militants operating within the hospital complex. Israeli military spokesman Daniel Hagari accused Hamas on Monday of using the hospital as a command center. It is the very same claim made by the IDF ahead of its raid on Al-Shifa back in November. On Monday, the IDF released this video showing a safe full of cash, an envelope with Hamas and Islamic Jihad insignia, and a series of weapons, presented as evidence to justify its raid on the hospital. But much like the IDF raid in November, little other evidence was provided to prove the presence of a Hamas command center at the Al-Shifa hospital. Hamas's military wing, meanwhile, has acknowledged that its fighters have been engaged in fierce clashes with Israeli troops in the area surrounding the hospital, adding that Gaza's civil police chief, Faik al-Mabhouh, who led the coordination of food and aid deliveries to the Strip, was killed during the raid. In a statement, the IDF said Wednesday that approximately 90, quote, terrorists were killed, including al-Mabhouh. The IDF also maintained that no harm had been inflicted on civilians or medical staff in the hospital. But testimonies from Palestinians inside Al-Shifa tell a very different story. We were informed by the Israelis that anyone moving within the hospital or around the hospital complex would be targeted by snipers, this medical student says. We can't leave the building to treat those injured outside. Some families attempted to leave, but they were targeted and killed. Those who have been able to leave central Gaza are now forced to make the uncertain journey south, with no guarantee of protection or survival. Stripped to their underwear and barefoot, these young boys say they are thankful just to have escaped with their lives. Recounting their harrowing experience, they say they were met with Israeli tanks and forced into an open square where they were interrogated and ordered to undress. Other men around them, they say, were killed. Many evacuees have been badly wounded. Limp, bloodied bodies are carried by cart. But there is little care available in the south anymore. And there is no telling whether these men, like so many others, will survive. Neda Bashir, CNN, London.